It's because we never gave up on it. Because we stuck with each other, and it's because back to those relationships. And it's like there's no perfect relationship. Matt and I get on each other's nerves on a regular basis. We have for years. We still will. But at the core, I love Matt. I trust Matt. And I would, if I was in trouble with anything in my life, you go on my first phone calls. And at the end of the day, that's what you want in a partnership. That's what you want in a relationship is if things are falling apart, who would you call? If you had to go on a dangerous mission, who would you want to go with? Who would you know that you trust? And you know what? There's things about me that bug the crap on a Matt. There's things about Matt that bug the crap on me. But at the core, there's nobody I'd rather be partners with.
Today, we're bringing you a special collage episode on relationship management. Across 5 incredible episodes, you'll hear game-changing insights about trust, integrity, team building, overcoming adversity, and how connections shape success in business and life. From emotional moments to practical advice, these clips highlight why investing in relationships with yourself and others is the foundation of true excellence. Sit back and enjoy this powerful journey through the art and impact of managing relationships.
My definition of excellence is actually a rather simple one. It's based around the quality of the relationships you have in your life. If you have high quality relationships in your life where people like you and trust you and that your integrity is intact, then excellence will follow.
So it's not about the achievement. It's not about the numbers. It's not about the trophies. It's not about the end. It's about the circle around you. And if you've got trust, integrity, you've done a great job. If you got that circle at work, if you got that circle in the community, if you got that circle in your personal life, that's a reflection of your excellence. Did I get it right?
That's pretty much it. I realized that I had a lot better life surrounded by people who I wanted to do things with, and we were all rowing in the same direction and making a difference together and doing things as simple as making a great night at a bar where we have 500 people showing up at a venue for an event and making sure that night goes off flawlessly and there's 35 people on staff that night and we're all working together as a team. That was fun. Those were relationships that mattered. The relationships I had with my painters at college were like I had a great team of guys that just went on to, I think 9 or 11 of 11 of my people went on to manage the year after I managed and that was one of the things I'm super proud of in my life is that of my team of 15 painters, 11 of them became branch managers the following year. And that was like, wow. That was like, I'm sure other people have done that, but I mean, that was to me like that. It wasn't about all the money I made. It's like, I must have made some impact on these people's lives that they said, we want to go do what Jay did. I look at where we are now and the companies we built together and all that, and we have had our share of friggin' problems. We have failed at 15, 16 companies together. We've all had a hand in each one of them or different ones, but we have an amazing partnership and an amazing friendship. And it's because we worked at it. It's because we never gave up on it. Because we stuck with each other, and it's because back to those relationships. And it's like there's no perfect relationship. Matt and I get on each other's nerves on a regular basis. We have for years. We still will. But at the core, I love Matt. I trust Matt, and I would, if I was in trouble with anything in my life, you go on my first phone calls. And at the end of the day, that's what you want in a partnership. That's what you want in a relationship. Is if things are falling apart, who would you call? If you had to go on a dangerous mission, who would you want to go with? Who would you know that you trust? And you know what? There's things about me that bug the crap on a Matt. There's things about Matt that bug the crap on me. But at the core, there's nobody I'd rather be partners with.
I think excellence in everything is important. Not only with work, with school, with your career, with hobbies. Hobbies keep you sane. With everything, family, friends, making sure that you're building relationships with the right types of people. As much as you can get busy, making sure that you're still making time for those that matter in your life. So I think in all aspects, it's important.
And what are the right type of people?
For me, Over the years, I've met a lot of people that have become huge mentors in my life. And I see a lot of people that have done things with their life that I want to do with my life. And to me, those are the people that I love to have in my life more than anyone. Anything. I've had really good friends over the years, people that I trust, people that I know would have my back no matter what. And even with those that are mentors, they've done huge things with their lives that I look up to, that I want to have those relationships with, just like you. Over the years, I've looked up to you a lot, and I continue to build that relationship with you and everyone else as well. I think it's all of those. One, I didn't have the best upbringing. I was in a situation where my parents really didn't have anything. They didn't understand, financial things. They didn't understand relationships. They didn't understand a lot of the big important things in life. I grew up in a family where all my parents did was fight. My dad was an alcoholic. Me and my mom didn't get along. There was a lot of negative in my house. I almost got taken away from DCFS as a kid. And I think a lot of that made me realize that I want to be the best person and have the best people in my life. And with all of that, I would say it's all of it. One, I just love building relationships with people. I love having educational conversations with people. I love seeing what others have done with their life and where they've come. And even you, Matt, you had mentioned before how you used to run that entrepreneur organization, and I think that's awesome. And I love talking to you about that and stuff like that. So I think it's all of those that you had mentioned. One, I didn't have the best relationships as a kid, and having great relationships now with some amazing people in my life has helped me come a long way. I love having conversations with good people. So yes, all of them. Building relationships, talking to people. A lot of the sales that we do, because we don't close on the spot, is being their person. If someone, and a lot of this has to go with me being that I care a lot about people and I love to help people. And that's a little bit just in my personality. But we get a lot of questions. They ask us, hey, can you bring samples by? Hey, could you adjust this pricing? Hey, can you price this out for us? And staying on top of all the little things constantly, but also being their person. Sales goes a long way, and they feel very comfortable and they feel like they can trust you when you're their person. And on top of it, a lot of the people and a lot of the estimates that I walk into, they feel like they know who I am because I talk about the things that I've done with my life. They talk about their family and their friends and what they do for work in their lives. And a lot of that is just naturally, I love, again, building relationships with people. And that takes me a very long way. I don't walk into sales thinking that I'm there to sell them. That's not what goes through my head, because if I'm sitting there thinking the whole time I'm only here because I'm going to sell them, then I think I would take away from the bigger picture as to why I'm there. And a lot of that has to do with, again, I care about people. I care about making an impact on their lives. I care about helping them. I care about building those relationships. And that's what's helped me succeed and be as far as I am today, is doing all those things when I walk into an estimate.
It's a people business. I mean, we're a service company. We don't have a tangible product. We're selling ourselves. We're selling that we can outperform any of our competitors. And so for us, really, it's about attracting the best talent, but more importantly than just attracting people, it's retaining people. So creating a healthy environment where people feel seen, heard, valued, appreciated. And that's what we do at Seabreeze day in and day out. We've been wildly successful. We don't have a huge business development arm. We've been extremely successful just because we take care of people. We do what we say we're going to do. And we deliver that in the marketplace day in and day out. So we have a lot of fun. I think we're going to find out that over the next, particularly 2 to 3 years, that relationships are the most important currency that we have. I mean, who we trust, who who has your back. People always say it's about who you know. No, it's about who knows you, right? Like it's all about connection. And it's authentic connection. We see it. It's not about, oh yeah, let's just say the right things. I mean, we've got primal instincts. When you walk up to somebody, is this a safe interaction? Does this person genuinely care? And that's why, like, when I'm in the grocery store, I might be on an important phone call And if I'm checking out, I'm putting that person on hold and I'm looking the cashier in their eyes and saying, thank you so much. That little interaction means so much to myself. And it means hopefully something to that individual, that we see them there as another human being. And so, whether it be the president of my organization, the person that mentored me in my business, or just general interactions day in and day out, everything has to do with connections. And I look at Seabreeze right now, and I've been the CEO been with Seabreeze for going on 9 years. I've owned the company for a little over four. And I look at my leadership team, I look at so many people who work in the organization, and these are all connections that I had in all these different companies that have all come now to work, and we get to work together, right? And we get to do this together. And I always thought, man, one day I'm going to get all the cool people that I know, we're all going to work at the same place.
Yeah.
And I get to experience that. I walk into the office and these are my best friends.
Yeah.
It's because we had interactions in other places and we trust each other. We looked out for each other. We had genuine love and connection with each other.
I loved just kind of getting to go and work when I wanted to. He wasn't real tight on my schedule as long as I got my work done each week. So I loved the flexibility of making my own calendar, but I did not love the solitude of not being around people. I tend to thrive more in community and being around people. And so I think a lot of those jobs helped me start to see what do I like, what don't I like. And fortunately and unfortunately, engineering was another one of those kind of mistrials. Like, okay, this isn't where I'm going. Man, I had a lot of stress. I didn't handle the wedding on the same summer well. I had a lot of turnover. I think I interviewed 53 people that summer and never had a crew of more than like 3 people working. But it did propel me into entrepreneurship in the sense of I got to manage my whole business from start to finish, and I enjoyed that juggling act. It's just anybody, I think, thinks of it as this super kind of sexy field. Like, yeah, I'm going to go in, I'm going to make all this money. And I interview a lot of people who see it as their fallback, right? Like it's like, okay, I didn't have the success I hoped I would have in this thing, so I'm going to go into real estate because that's easy, right? And I think it's and I have the stat here, and I was trying to pull it up while we're talking. There it is. So the average agent with less than 2 years experience in the United States makes $9,600, less than $10,000 in a year, as far as their take home commissions go. So it's possible, but it's not the easy money that I think the press kind of promotes it as, which is a big part of why the lawsuits are out there, because I think buyers think and sellers think we're all overpaid. And so we're going to, try to squeeze commissions down. But it comes from a misunderstanding of what we do and honestly how much we do get paid at the end of the day. A lot of times I feel like everything kind of relies on me, like whatever impact on the world that I'm going to have, I've got to make it right now. If you think about it, if I can raise healthy, strong children who can go out and have the same type of impact that I'm having. I've got 4 kids. So that's 4 times the impact just there if I can do a good job raising them, right? And so I think that's something else is don't get so task oriented. That's what I would tell to me. I mean, maybe some of our listeners they're like, oh, I like people already, but I liked people, but I got very task oriented. And so if I could kind of take the blinders off every once in a while and really try to see, hey, this client I'm talking to is a person, right? And I want to value what they're saying to me rather than just take a number and move on to the next type of thing. And so realizing that I can have an impact, not just in the tasks that I'm doing for the last, 15 years and the next 30 years, but also through the people that I'm getting to influence and the people that I'm having an impact in their lives. So I think that's inspiring to think about it and true as well. And that helps me kind of slow down, take the time with people and invest more in people than just in getting the next thing on my to-do list done.
Yeah, I think, oftentimes for me, when you start to compare yourself to other people, is when you getting it not into a great place. So I've really had to focus on just competing with myself day in and day out. And believe me, I didn't learn that by myself. I've learned that for a lot of other mentors and a lot of other folks, probably like you, honestly, just reminding me like, hey, all you can do is just compete with yourself every day. You can't necessarily control what other people are doing and their successes and failures. All you can do is just what you can control. And so that's why that one hits home for me. I think it's educating, it's teaching, and it's also a lot of it's encouraging because I feel like a lot of times people, we always are our own worst critic, right? There's always somebody on our shoulders talking to us, whether it's good or bad.
You're describing the job of a district manager.
That sounds, it's probably pretty accurate. And that's the thing is just like you mentioned all those skill sets. And those are all the things that I learned through the College Works painting program is that, hey, it had nothing to do with painting. Yeah. It had everything to do with people. And that's what I still am working at that to this day. Shoot, ask my wife, ask some of my best friends. Actually, don't ask my wife. Don't ask my best friends. But still working on all those people skills. But yeah, I mean, you have to be an encourager. You have to be a coach, a teacher, and in some ways, and this is something that I can get better at to this day as well. But sometimes you have to challenge people. And everybody likes a coach.
You have to be a
but
leader.
Sometimes you have to be a leader. Sometimes you don't like hearing what your coach has to say, but you know what? They're right. You know what? What they're saying is true. And just doing that for our clients as much as possible. Just like, hey, this is what I believe. Let's just look at this information. And this is what I believe we need to do. And sometimes it's not always met with joy, but I think that, sometimes it's that too, but you're just dealing with people. So that's reading body language. That's reading tone. And that's using pauses. That's watching their eyes. That's all the things that you learn at College Works. And that was something that I did. I enjoy people, and I want people to do well. And of course I want to do well too. But I think it's a byproduct of making sure that you're helping folks. And that's when, obviously you get help as well. But yeah, all those things. If you were to flip around the camera, I've got a couch in here, in the office behind me. So it's just you're doing people because, oftentimes, when you're in these conversations, one person's looking at the other person like, well, what do you think? And then the other person is like, well, I don't know. I didn't, and just down the rabbit hole. But, I think oftentimes we'll always point the finger at the other person. But I think some of the leadership principles you learn at College Works is that, hey, you know what? All progress starts with taking personal ownership of where you're at. So just try and take the steam out of that conversation with couples or take the steam out of the room and just say, hey, you know what? It is what it is. We learned from that. Let's figure out what we need to do moving forward. And that's, some of the stuff, again, those skills that you just have to learn in business, and you're not going to learn them in a textbook. You just got to learn them out in the field, so to speak, and just learn them with people.